Ladies and gentlemen, the cat is finally out of the bag. I've just bought an Aston Martin V8 Vantage.
It's another day to live another fairy tale. It's another night to drink and then forget. Oh no, tomorrow won't wait around forever. Regret will bed another stranger if you find.
Now, before I get into the car, let me give you guys a little bit of backstory. 2 years ago, I took my Nissan Micra on a road trip to Monaco with Matt Armstrong and Chris Slicks. Both Matt and Chris had Aston Martin V8 Vantages, with Matt having the more modern car and Chris having the older model. Throughout that trip, I found myself absolutely yearning after a Vantage, in particular, the older model. The naturally aspirated V8 engine in Chris's car had the best exhaust note I'd ever heard up until that point, and combined with the timeless design, I had officially set my head on buying one of these cars. But honestly, I never thought I'd actually be able to afford one, because Aston Martin, as I'm sure you all know, is a luxury brand and their cars tend to be very expensive. But when I got back home and looked up the prices, to my surprise, whilst still a lot of money, they were a lot more affordable than what I originally expected. So after graduating from university in July of 2023, I then got my head down and started working towards the goal of eventually buying an Aston Martin. TikTok, Instagram and YouTube brand deals were a massive part of this. Car Vertical, EA Sports, Asphalt Legends Unite, HelloFresh, eBay Assured Fit, Carly's OBD adapter. But on top of that, I leveraged my editing skills to edit for some YouTube channels that you will probably be familiar with, and I also had a side hustle of creating short form content for company social media pages such as The Exhaust Company. Drop a like on this video if you've enjoyed this exhaust transformation, and follow this account for all content exhaust related. And by doing this on my 23rd birthday on the 23rd of December 2023, I actually managed to buy my dream Aston Martin. Definitely got a bit of imposter syndrome. I really can't believe this is my car. If you told me 3 years ago that I would be driving one of these in 3 years' time, I would have called you crazy. Simply, I would have called you crazy, because I never would have thought that it would have been possible. And yeah, this is an unreal moment for me, driving this car and actually owning it. Now, you can't talk about Aston Martin without talking about James Bond. Do I think I look like James Bond when I'm driving this car? Yes. If it didn't make it clear from that short film, I've got a bit of a fancy of being James Bond, but I do think it is a legal obligation, if you do buy an Aston Martin, to get in a suit and drive it. But where do I even begin with this car? It is something completely different to what I've owned in the past. As many of you know who have watched my videos, I like cheap shit boxes. This is far from what I'm used to. This car has soul, fun and noise in absolute abundance. The main party piece, of course, is that 4.3 litre V8 engine underneath the bonnet. It is an absolute joy to row through the gears with that burbling under the bonnet. It was originally derived from a 4.2 litre Jaguar engine, And essentially the Aston Martin engineers did some wizardry and re-engineered pretty much everything other than the block itself. They dry sumped it so that it sits lower in the engine bay. They actually slumped the engine behind the front axle, so it is front mid-engine for that weight distribution. And you can really feel all of the work they've done to this car because it drives so well. Now, of course, there are going to be people in the comment sections of this video saying, why didn't you buy a Porsche 911? Or why didn't you buy an M3? An E46 or an E92 are similar in sort of price range to this car. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking about 911s and I was thinking about E46 M3s. But as I said, I went on that road trip with Matt and Chris and I really fell in love with these sorts of cars then. But there are other things that attract me to this car. And it mainly is that exhaust note. It is so exciting. It's like you have a dopamine button underneath your right foot and you just get this surge of excitement every time you put the foot down. Now, another reason why I absolutely love this car is the fact that it was originally designed as a Grand Tourer, meaning it can take you from point A to point B with a relative level of comfort, whilst also retaining that sports car feeling. Now, this was actually really important to me because I do a heck of a lot of long driving, and on those long drives I've got into a very bad habit of drinking high caffeinated, bad for you energy drinks that are also pretty expensive, which is why I have partnered up with Holy for today's video. Now, Holy is essentially the better for you alternative that can also save you a load of money. So it does help you save money and it helps you get on top of your health, as I said, but this isn't only something I use on those long journeys, it is also something I use when I'm working on my cars late at night and I just need that kick of energy. And this is a product I'm actually really passionate about, so let me show you how it works. So you've got a few different drinks to choose from. There's the Holy Hydration, the iced teas and the energy. The energy is my favorite, and of these energy packets, you've got a load of different flavors, and my favorite is the strawberry shark, which I've got one more of. And basically the way it works is you open up the sachet, put in the powder and then put in some water, lid back on, give it a shake, and then just like that you've got an energy drink. This is so much cheaper than the energy drinks you get at petrol stations, and it is way healthier as well. And strawberry shark tastes absolutely amazing. It's got nootropics, vitamins, new calf, all of that good stuff to help you focus. Alongside that, no artificial colors or flavors, and to top it all off, no sugar, no taurine, and no other junk. This is natural and it's a much healthier alternative. So to give Holy a try yourself, click the link in the description of this video and use one of the two codes on the screen right now for some money off. And with that said, back to the video. Now, whenever you turn this car on for the first time in the morning, there are three words which come on the dash, and that is power, beauty, and soul. Now, originally when I bought the car to start with, I did think that was a little bit cringe. But after now driving this car and owning it for 6 months, I get it. Those three words perfectly describe this car. It has power, it's got 380 horsepower, which, don't get me wrong, isn't a massive amount, especially by today's standards. There will be a lot of hot hatches like your Golf Rs, like your M140s, which would probably smoke this. But it does have power, it has soul. I mean, that is all the soul you need, and it is absolutely beautiful. This car was designed with the golden ratio in mind, which apparently is what helps humans think things are beautiful, and you can really tell. There isn't a bad angle to look at this car from. Whenever I park it up for petrol, I walk backwards because I cannot stop looking at it. But the beauty does not stop with the exterior. The inside of this car is equally well thought about and is equally as beautiful. It's all draped in this black leather and it really does make you feel special. You've got this big sort of waterfall inspired center console, which I absolutely love, and these dials and gauges, these analog dials and gauges, which have really been thought about. They've got this brushed aluminium look to them, and the rev gauge actually goes around the wrong way, so it keeps the symmetry in the dash, which, I don't know, it's little things like that for me which just make me feel so special when I'm stepping into a car like this. There are, of course, some things that aren't so good. The clutch only lasts 25,000 miles, and rather than being a twin plate clutch, it is the inferior single plate clutch, which is simply just not as good and very expensive to replace. Also, when you open the boot, water leaks into it if it's been raining, the cup holders are far too small, and the car doesn't come with Bluetooth audio from standard, so you have to try and find an aftermarket solution just to play your music. But honestly, all of this can easily be forgiven because this car does something to you as the driver which is becoming more and more rare in this day and age. And that is a truly engaging driving experience. The manual gearbox, hydraulic steering rack, and the lack of computerized systems getting in the way come together to create a driver-machine connection that, in my opinion, is being tragically lost in today's era of EVs, electric steering, and DSG gearboxes. I will forever hold the belief that old analog cars such as this will always put more of a smile on the face of whoever's driving, and ladies and gentlemen, isn't that what it's all about? Now, one thing I wanted to make abundantly clear is that the purchase of this car is by no means going to affect the content on the channel. I understand that all of you watching this video absolutely love the cheap car content. It's what my channel was built on, and I am never going to stop that. I don't have any plans to turn my channel into a supercar show and tell. Trust me, that is not going to happen. This was a bit of a personal goal for me, and I wanted to share that experience with all of you watching this. But that leads me on quite nicely to the fact that I would not have been able to buy this car without all of your support, without views, subscribers, sponsorships, that sort of thing. This simply wouldn't have been possible. And on top of that, I wouldn't be able to work my dream job without that either. So thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for watching these videos and supporting the channel. It means the world to me. And with all of that said, we have a video on the Honda Jazz coming very soon, and after that it is full steam ahead on the Fox GTI. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss it. Like this video, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone.